Hello everyone and welcome to my Star Wars Episode 7 review for the Star Wars The Force Awakens. I don't normally do videos like this, but well, here we go. Firstly, before we start the video, this is my opinions. I put the trailer in the background, so you might see it on repeat a couple of times. And all I gotta say is, I did love the film. It wasn't perfect, but it's definitely worth a watch. So, firstly, I'd like to congratulate it on bringing back the attitude that we had back in Empire Strikes Back and the other originals, instead of carrying on with the prequels, which was good. And it were also bad. Don't hate me for that yet, but because if the prequels were never made, it would make perfect sense that they learned how to use the lightsabers and the Force in the way they did. But because of the prequels, it don't make as much sense. So I think they're trying to get the prequels out of canon or something. But that's just my thoughts. But firstly, the movie, everything we've hoped for. If you've been a Star Wars fan, it's the movie you've all been waiting for. And all I can say is just go out and watch it. There are going to be some spoilers in this review before I carry on. So this is not a spoiler-free review because I haven't seen any reviews that analyse the spoilers, which I really think should be out there. So if you haven't seen the movie, I can just say go watch it. It's a good film, 9 out of 10. That's my final verdict in the end anyway. So yeah, so right, to say the spoilers in this film, there's quite some big ones. When you go to at the beginning, it places you straight in with a mission of finding Luke Skywalker, and the little BB droid has to find him, as it has a map or something, and his pilot's the best one in the First Order, not the First Order, the Resistance. But the First Order are after this map, so they're all trying to get this BB droid, BB-8, to find out where Luke is, because he's been in hiding after Kylo Ren killed all the Jedi. So we presume that they find out about it, and they First Order attack the village where it is, and BB-8 is set off to get away from him, basically, and he goes across Jakku and meets Rey, where they team up, and they're constantly on threat because she's a scavenger and she's got to trade in parts for food, but everybody wants the droid. So people keep attacking her and hit the droid, trying to grab the droid so they can deliver it to the First Order. But in the meantime, I forgot his name now. What's his name? The soldier, stormtrooper. I'll remember his name later on. Finn. That's it. Finn didn't add in a whatever it is village, had someone white blood on his face, and it made him open his eyes and break the conditioned in the First Order placed on him, and he could see for what they were really are. And of course this rebel pilot, he was stuck on the spaceship thing. I don't know what they're called in this one, but he was stuck on there and he got tortured. So they both escape, and we presume Finn's mate died in a crash, which was awfully similar to a crash that happened in Indiana Jones. Not Indiana Jones, what am I saying? The Mummy, where the plane all sinks into the ground after the crash. And we presume Finn's the only survivor of it. They meet up in the centre, as well as the First Order tracked Finn. So they all have to run, and they stumble across the Millennium Falcon. I really can't say it, but they stumble across it. They call it garbage, which isn't very good. But, well, they do that, and they go into space. But this is where it starts playing with your head, Star Wars. It's clever how they managed to do this. They got a tractor beam, just like I'm just gonna call it Han Solo's ship got captured in the first film, where with the tractor beam, and you just think it's repeating itself as they get captured by a tractor beam into this massive station. They were gonna gas the whole thing out, but Solo and Chewbacca come across the ship, and it turns out it got stolen from them. And then wherever it is, this is where it starts picking up. This first little bit that I've just explained took forever, really dragged, but after this onwards, this plot seems to build itself up. I know they were just trying to introduce the cast, and this is the part of the theory that I got, is they go to this place because the Millennium Falcon has been tracked. So they go to this place to get a new ship, and they see Luke's old lightsaber, as well as Anakin's, and it calls to Rey, which has started the theory that she's his daughter. And they like even flipped us, because even in the trailers we thought with Finn were going to be the Jedi, and Rey was just going to be there like Princess Leia, but this changed it. So all hope seems to be lost, and then Leia comes in, and there's no surprise here, there's yet another Death Star thing, where it shoots a beam into space that destroys planets. So this is where we find out Kylo Ren, spoilers, is whether it is Han Solo's and Princess Leia's son, and he turned to the dark side. So Leia sends him off with Rey and Finn and Chewbacca to disable the shields so they can attack this new station. I'm just going to call it a Death Star because I've forgotten the name of it, but they go to disable the shields on this place, and they meet up with Han Solo, sees Kylo Ren and tries to redeem him from the dark side, and the lighting were perfect here because you could see half red, half blue, and he goes to hand his lightsaber as if to say that he's coming back to the good, but as that happens, the blue switches off and he kills Han Solo with his lightsaber, which was sort of expected because Harrison Ford, he's always wanted his character to have a death in the Star Wars films, and it seems like he's finally got it, and it could mirror what happened to Obi-Wan in the originals, which motivates Rey to carry on. And when the Chewbacca goes insane when this happens and basically shoots everything going, then they're starting to escape. The rebels fly in, hit the main reactor thing, to make it unstable, the planet. So they had to rush to get off, where Rey and Finn had to face down in the woods against Kylo Ren, where Kylo Ren, Finn's fighting him, and Kylo Ren just tears him apart within a couple of minutes. We all presumed he was dead from this, because he's just got laser sword and he got lightsaber straight up the back. So this is the scene that's really good, where the lightsabers in the snow mirroring what happened in episode 5. As Kylo Ren reaches for it, it swings past his face and goes to Rey, which leaves them to have a 1v1 lightsaber duel, where they're both swinging at each other. This is something about this film, they're not spinning lightsabers around, they're just hacking at each other. Bit more like, I'd compare it to Darth Vader versus Luke in episode 5. So the fighting, Rey managed to get the upper hand, and it looked like Kylo got some limbs chopped off during this fight, which probably did because it's Star Wars and it nearly happens in every film. So this is convenient. She would have killed him, but the ground split apart, splitting the two, with Kylo getting sent back for training. Rey goes to Finn and Chewbacca saves him and gets him off the planet. The R2 coincidentally reboots at the same time and gives them the rest of the map they need to find Luke, which is a bit of a coincidence but drives the plot along. So Rey and Chewbacca are now the two pilots on the Falcon, go to save Luke from get him from the Jedi Temple, which this has been one of, I know it drives the emotion, but the little use of Luke in this film really were disappointing, really, because he was such a big part of the originals. He didn't even say one word really, he just stared at him, and the screen, she's handing it lightsaber and the screen just cuts black. Right, so thoughts, the film were good, the plot, one of the best stories we've had in a while. It's got everything we liked from the originals. I can compare it very well to A New Hope. There was quite a lot of comedy, which not the boring comedy like Jar Jar Binks or anything like that from the prequels. Comedy like Han Solo killed his role, and Harrison Ford killed his role in this. I wish he was still in it, because he was that good in this film. The same with Rey. Rey was amazing, and I really like these new characters, and they seem to have had a lot more better directing than George Lucas would have been able to do. So good job, JJ. So everything like that, plot amazing, acting amazing, but now I'm gonna have to go to some of the negatives. As I said earlier, if you watch the prequels and this, it don't make much sense, because in that they made a big point of it took for ages to train someone, but in this she don't need training, she just does it herself, which I can't really complain about really, because I think they want to get rid of the prequels out of canon, which they probably should. But another thing, everybody's complaining because she picked up a lightsaber and used it better than someone who's trained to use one. And the last part, this is probably my least favourite part. It seems to drag a bit too much at the beginning to get started, I know you got to build the characters, but you need to build it up a bit more at the beginning. Bit like, I hope they can work on this for the next film and do like a remake on a different planet of Hoth, Battle of Hoth at the beginning of episode 5, which would be really good to see, especially with all the new technology. I'm not just saying complete it with CGI. I think real models will be good to have in it. So, final verdict. All round good film. Definitely go see it if you haven't already. And I'd give it 9 out of 10 for amazing plot, amazing characters, but a bit dull at the beginning. But that's my opinion. Thanks for watching.